Hello everyone, welcome to Sharmit. In this session, we are going to talk about another very important topic related to Angular template driven form, where we will see where we can implement the ngModel group. Okay, so in short, we are going to see where is ngModel group is used. If you remember, in our previous session, we talked about what is ngModel group. Then we talked about why do we use ngModel group. And in this session is in the continuation of the same, where we will be mainly talking on is where is ngModel group is used. But before we proceed further with this session, I would like to recommend you to please go and check out the previously released sessions first, because they all are in proper sequence and sync. So if you follow it sequentially, then it would be much more easier for you to understand the ongoing topic, because for time being, we are just mainly focusing on where is ngModel group is used. But prior to that, you should know what is ngModel group, why do we use it, and the basic thing regarding the template driven form. And for the sequential content, what you can do, you can refer the Sharmit digital course book, which is freely available in the description box. There you will find more than 3000 plus free resources available in both Hindi as well as English language. So as per your convenience, you can refer to it. Okay. All right. So let's get started. Here you can see I have noted down the first heading that shows Angular course by Sharmit. Then we have second heading that shows template driven form in Angular, where is ngModel group used. And then later on, we have noted down some points that will also help you to prepare well for your interviews and examination. Okay, so let's see how the first point goes. The first point says ngModel group is used only in template driven forms in Angular. This is very important point. Always make sure that if someone asks you in the interview where we can utilize ngModel group, so you can simply say that ngModel group is used in template driven form in Angular. Okay. Second thing, it is used inside a form that is already managed by Angular using ngForm. That is also important thing, that whenever you want to use ngModel group, it should be inside in a form that is already managed by Angular using ngForm. Clear? Then we have third point. Third point says ngModel group is applied to a container element such as div, field set, section and ng container. So throughout the form, you will never find any particular form where we have applied the ngModel group directly to the input. No, it should be only in div, field set, select, section and ng container. Clear? Then we have fourth point, it is never applied directly to form controls like input, select or text area. So as I mentioned, you will never find any form where you have directly applied ngModel group to input, select or text area. Okay. Then we have fifth point, all form controls that need to be grouped must be placed inside a container that has ngModel group. Okay. So all the forms control that need to be grouped, like suppose we want to collect all the information related to address fields, right? And we have multiple address fields. So all those control that needs to be grouped must be placed inside the container that has ngModel group. Okay. Again, each control inside the group must still use ngModel and a unique name attribute, because this is mandatory thing. So always make sure that it contains ngModel and a unique name attribute. Okay. Then we have seventh point that then shows ngModel group is commonly used to group like address detail, personal information, contact details, payment or bank detail. So when you want to categorize these kind of input fields, then in that case you will utilize ngModel group, which is commonly used for address details, as we talked about city, state, pin code. So these all things comes under address detail. Likewise, we have personal information like name, date of birth and likewise. In case of contact detail, you can assume that we have a mobile number, email address, primary email address, secondary email address. So these all things comes under a contact detail. And in case of payment or banking detail, you can show the account number and other correlated things. Okay. Now we have eighth thing, that a multiple ng-model group can be used inside a single form. This is very important question in terms of interviews, because they might ask you like, can we use multiple ng-model group inside a single form? So you can say that yes, it can be used. Okay. Also, ng-model can also be nested inside another ng-model group to create a multi-level grouping. So as per the requirement, if you want to build a multi-level grouping, then in that case ng-model group can also be nested inside another ng-model group to create a multi-level grouping. Okay. Then we have 10th point that says it works as a child section of the main form and contributes to the form's overall validity and value. Okay. So as we are building it in a proper hierarchy, so it works completely as a child section of the main form. So we have main form, inside that we have multiple sections. So it will work as a child section, and also it contributes to the overall form validity and value. So this is again a very important topic or a point when we are talking about ng-model group. Then we have 11th point that says ng-model cannot exist outside a form. It must always be a part of an Angular form. Of course, like if you are dealing with the form, so always make sure that it is applied inside the form itself. It doesn't work like if you put the ng-model group div outside the form, of course, because this is something that we are implementing in terms of form. So it should be there, and I think this is the same point which can also relate with this thing, that all here, like we discussed that, right? Yes, it is used inside a form that is already managed by Angular using ng form. So if it is inside that form, it will work. If it is not, then it won't work, and that is very simple thing. Clear? Then we have next point which says it is not used in reactive form. Because reactive forms use the form group instead. Okay, instead of this, reactive form will use the form group. So that is very important line. This thing can also be used when you are answering the question between the let's say if someone asks you to differentiate between the reactive form and template driven form, so you can simply say that in case of template driven form we can use ng-model group, but in case of reactive form we are not supposed to use ng-model group. Instead of that, we should use form group. Clear? So yeah, these are the all pointers that I think is enough to understand where is ng-model group is used. So it answers all those things in terms of forms, in terms of multiple hierarchy. So what we are supposed to do, we are supposed to do this thing only in this proper element thing, right? Like whenever you want to implement it, always make sure that it is implemented in div, field set, section, and container. Okay, so these are the all things which I would like to share with you all in this question. Now just one suggestion, like if you are preparing for any interview or any exam, always make sure that firstly you cover these all pointers which we discussed in earlier session also, because this is something that you will be like learning in the upcoming session, and it will also help you to answer the questions in interview. I know like developer don't like much theoretical thing, but these are the only thing that that is mandatory for us, right? Because if you know about these theoretical things, then it is really very interesting for you to understand the actual concepts that we are going to implement in the later go. Okay, so I think we are good to understand these all pointers, and now we have covered all the required thing, like what we have covered all the required thing, like what is ng-model group, why do we use ng-model group, and if you are using the ng-model group, then where it should be used. So with this session, I think it is clear like where we are approaching, because now we know what it is, how we can use, and when it is useful, and where it should be used, right? So yeah, these are the all pointers which I had like to share with you all in this particular session. Now you can learn these things and try to implement small example, although we will be covering the example in the upcoming session separately as well. But meanwhile, like, you can just try to explore these all theoretical pointers. And if you have any question, concern, or anything related to this, please feel free to reach out to me through comment sections. I would be more than happy to answer all your questions. So yeah, that's all for today. See you in the next session with new topics. So thank you for watching Tech Sharmit.